Let it take you away, so far away. Look what you do to me. Oh, 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 oh. Do to me. Oh, 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 oh. Day 10 of my 21-day fast. Day 10 of 21 days of a fast. I can say a couple of things. From my first time fasting till now, what's up, what's up, what's up? From my first time fasting till now, I've noticed changes. Noticed changes. I'm gonna give this spill while we wait for us to fill up. I've noticed changes. My first time ever fasting, ever doing a fast and a detox, I remember looking at myself in the mirror. I remember taking pictures of myself to like mark my progress. I have records of my progress. And I used to look like the first time I ever fasted, I looked literally dead. I looked like I was drained. I looked like no energy. I looked like I didn't have energy. I looked sick. I really looked sick as compared to this time me doing my 21-day fast. It's like my fourth, fifth fast, real fast, in the aspect of going in a long distance. And I noticed that I don't look the same. Like I'm out in the sun hit me, I'm letting the sun bathe. I just finished doing some yard work over the last couple of days, good stuff of that nature. And it made me really think about the upgrades, rerouting, the ideal versus the real. And you'll notice how if you looked at the top of this video, I put ideal versus the real. You have your ideal set of quality. You have your ideal set of values. You have your ideal set of values. You have your ideal direction. You have your ideal direction. You have your ideal aspects of your life. What you're trying to do with yourself. You have your you have this ideal perception. And then you have what plays out in your reality of your space. You have what plays out in your reality. This is what I call the aspects of you projecting that reel, that movie reel. Let's think about that movie reel. So now you're looking at your ideal values. And as I always let y'all know, divine rise, blessed be to your day. May be everything you require to create everything that you desire. Understand that healing is destructive. You are deserving, but you are not entitled. And this level of honesty is only going to take you deeper into the aspects of really facing those ideal, where you learned, in this case, that those ideal values that a lot of us hold on to. And the importance of discipline. So today I want to get into the importance of that discipline. Everything that you're doing, or everything that you did, a lot of times we're doing stuff like, you'll wake up in the morning. Like for me, I got my tea, I got my herbs. You wake up in the morning and you get ready for work. You do just enough stuff. Peace, 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 power. You'll do just enough stuff just to get ready for work. You'll do just enough stuff to get ready for the kids. You do just enough stuff to make sure your man straight. You do just enough stuff to make sure your girl's straight, whatever it may be inside of your space. Even down to the phone calls that you make, the text messages that you send out, everything that you're doing. It sets the tone of your routine based on that ideal aspect of yourself, your ideal values. I just made a post a couple minutes ago before I became live. I was like, I've been thinking about this for like the last couple of weeks. And I was like, the narrative, something as simple as helping others while someone else helping somebody else while you're struggling yourself, that's love. No, It's not. It's not love. It's trauma bonding. A lot of the things that I used to do in order to stay relevant, a lot of the things that I used to do to stay seen, to stay with that sense of attention, don't exist anymore. I can't do them anymore. I was thinking about literally the routes in which I'm in, the route in which I'm in with myself, as compared to the old routes that I used to run, the old plays I used to run, the old routes I used to tap into. I'm like, yo, I'm on this route. I've been on this route for up 10 years. I've gotten this, and this, and not really realizing that when it was time for me to upgrade, when it's time for me to upgrade, me understanding now and being able to interpret it and teach upon it is when you're rerouting, you reroute from where you're at. We reroute, you will reroute from where you're at. You're not going to reroute from back when, if you find yourself, and this is a key in your healing process, if you find yourself when you're in the middle of a reroute, your mind automatically goes back to directions from 2006 back then. If your reroute always takes you back to a space of how your mom used to do it, how your pops used to do it, how somebody used to do it back then, that is a loop that you must assess. That is the next loop that you're going to assess. Everything comes to you exactly when it needs to come to you. Every single time. Every single time it comes to you exactly as it, based on the desire of honesty with yourself. See, a lot of times when we're sitting inside of these spaces and we're going through our upgrades, or we're shifting, we're coming through our shifts, we're looking for things based on our wants, and we look at things based on our needs. We look at things based on the wants, and we look at things based on those needs. But we never look at it based on what we truly desire. I had to really think about it to the aspect with myself of, I'm teaching, I'm teaching, counseling, providing these services. So that means my mindset is not going to go back. Like whenever I'm having a conversation with someone, when I'm doing a breakdown with someone, my mind doesn't go back to, I used to realize and really think about it like, why my mind don't go back to that place? Why can't I relate to them anymore? Why this conversation don't sound the same? Why I can't get it the way I used to get it? Why don't it feel the same? And I would sit with that feeling and I would think about my needs and wants, but I would never think about what I was desiring. I would never think about what I was desiring, that absolute desire for myself. And this is when it came into the aspects of my ideal values and my real life values, or my ideal values and my real life values. That means my ideal values are of the idea of my authentic self, or my healed as I'm healing. That means my real values will always be in tandem with those aspects. That means when I go into a space, instead of me being triggered by some motherfuckers, I'll let shit happen as it need to happen. I don't feel the need to explain my actions that are not inconducive within my aspects of my growth. That are not based on me growing, not based on me shedding, not based on me growing. This is another aspect when you start thinking about when you're doing your healing process, when you're shedding identities, when you're shedding these layers, when you're really dissecting when you're dissecting these dark aspects of yourself, and you really start looking at how you put them, you're not dissecting them to fix it. You're not dissecting it to fix it. You're not dissecting it to balance it. You're not dissecting it to get anything from it. You're dissecting it to learn it. See, when you're going through the aspects of you rerouting yourself, similar to like you sitting on the road, let's say you sitting in the car, GPS is going, beep, 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 beep. And you miss a turn, or there's a wreck ahead. There's a wreck up ahead. The first thing that we'll usually say when there's a wreck up ahead or traffic slows down, Oh my God, it's a wreck, and the time and shit, and damn, and I'm gonna miss my appointment. I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna miss this. But at no point in time, you had a desire. You had a place that you wanted to go. You had a place that you needed to go. But the desired outcome of when you're going to this place with yourself, if you allow yourself to become aware and calm inside that space, and it's a learning process to be calm inside that space, you'll look over and see your GPS rerouting you to the next exit that's going to take you, that's going to knock 20 miles off, knock 20 miles off of the entire trip. This is the aspect of the upgrade. The upgrade is going to take you through a state of discomfort. A lot of the upgrades that the things are upgrading inside of your space is based on discomfort, but it's based on where you're at. It's like something similar as if you've never went to therapy, you never thought about therapy, you've never thought about actually going through a healing, any type of healing process, or in that aspect, similar to you going through a diet, working out, working on yourself. The first thing that are going to pop up is every distraction that you've ever created. Every distraction that you've ever created, every thought that you've ever had now comes to the surface. It's like literally playing a video game, and you tap and you see all your attributes and your weaknesses on the damn screen, and now all of that shit comes up, and you looking at this for the first time like, damn, I didn't know that was a weakness. Damn, I didn't know that's a weakness. Why is that under a weakness? Why is me being independent? Why is me being a real nigga? Why is me being this, and this? Why are those under weaknesses? Why do I have very little things under my strengths? Why do I have so many aspects under my weaknesses? It would be a fucking game changer if that's what you could do inside of your life. Like easily pull up this list and be like, oh, here are all of my weaknesses that I thought were strengths, and now I gotta acquire new strengths based on my new ideal of myself. It'd be easy. Because you can't do that. Everything's accessible. We just have to learn, as we're learning our healing process, what's accessible to us. Here's the thing about things that are actually accessible based on your upgrades, and we don't get deeper. Things that are accessible to you based on your upgrade, based on you upgrading yourself, are going to make you feel the most uncomfortable. The things based on your upgrades are going to challenge your old state or your old emotional account or your old cost. How you used to cost things out. I'm gonna use an example real quick. My new mindset, that new program is, I remember like, when like this thing, you go looking for an apartment, you look for a place to stay, and every time they tell you some shit, it'd be like, you need to make 3 times the rent, and 3 times this, and that. And then now you sitting there, you trying to make up all these hours in this one aspect to make 3 times the rent, because you don't know how much 3 times, you don't know if you make that much. So the first thing that you think about is, all I gotta do is work more hours and I make 3 times the rent. The ideal value, you still acting in the 9-to-5 mentality. So the real that you play out inside of your space is, all I need to do is make more money. Now think what you bring into your space based on that attraction. And you ain't got no disciplines in play. You ain't got no discipline with yourself in play. That means your morning routine when you wake up is trash. Your afternoon siesta or resting period is trash. Your bedtime routine is trash. But you saying that you gonna work more hours to get more money, or you need more money to come in. So now think about everything that's gonna come in on that route, based on that routing. Now you got your usual go-tos that give you comfort. Now you got Now you got, oh my God, you got this person that comes in, you got people that come into your life, friend, love, relation, interest, whatever it may be, coming to your space. And then you like, okay, cool. This person to serve that purpose. but you ain't got no disciplines in play. You ain't got no disciplines in play. You got to meet, like, when we go into the aspects of you rerouting yourself and you taking that new exit, or you taking this new turn of events in your life, you must accept that route as that path, not the outcome. See, a lot of times inside of my space, on that personal, like, I was looking for a certain outcome. So since I was stuck on an outcome, since I was stuck on assessing or accessing it based on a certain outcome, I would put things in places, or I would put myself in places to where it served only based on the old aspect, my old thought process, my old actions, how I used to react to things, how I used to react, how I used to speak, how I used to talk, how I used to be. And I would not notice that, just like when you taking that reroute, just like when I first learned how to meditate, just like when I first learned how to what I was studying, just as I started learning natal charts and all of this other stuff and going deeper into my lineage, just like I learned that route, and that energy, that emotion would come up, the same thing would happen. But because this was the key, because I was used to a certain level of access, because I was only used to a certain level of access based on my comfort, which I always say, comfort is reaction. If I always could react the same way, I was looking for a certain outcome that I did not yet deal with myself. A lot of times we're looking, since you get stuck on the outcome, you can get so stuck and fixated on an outcome. You want a new house. Okay, cool. You want a new house. All right, bet. Until I understand the mechanics until I understand the mechanics of the real value, the real core values of getting a house, of owning a house, then I cannot check my ideal values of owning a house. So now I think about the program in my mind of saying, as long as I pay rent for it, it's mine. As long as I pay rent for it, it's mine. As long as my name is on this, it's mine. As long as I'm paying for it, it's mine. That's the 9 to 5. That's that 9 to 5 mentality. As long as I'm paying on it, it's mine. As long as I can sustain paying for it, it's mine. But that's going to take me out of the mindset of 3 times the rent, 3 times the cost. So now when I start actually moving inside of this new space or this new direction, whether it's studying, like, for example, I've been doing master classes for the last couple of days, master class for the last couple of weeks for marketing and other aspects of that nature, studying aspects of trust, how to build a trust, building the business foundation, really getting deeper into the business foundation, really getting into the aspects of understanding what the life insurance policy, we talked about that on Friday, and really getting deeper into these aspects, because that's the upgrade. The lessons from that space, that's the upgrade. I've never been there before. See, when you're going into these new routes with yourself and you're going into, your discipline is all you can take with you to the next level. Those disciplines that you've learned coming into that space, that's all you can take to that next level. I can, and most of us, a lot of us do, I can't take the old values into that new space, especially if these old values of my ideal were based upon traumatic experiences. I can't take my ideal thought process. I cannot take my ideal thought process based on based on trauma bonding on what I thought a woman should be, based on the wounds of my aspects of my mother and the women that were in my life, in my mother's side of the family, and my father's side of the family, and my pop's side of the family. I can't take those ideals to the current space and make them real, because they still stuck back there. Because every time that I reroute, guess where I'm going to end up at? I'm going to end up in that space. The shit just don't happen out of nowhere. You rerouted yourself there. Your thoughts, how you woke up, You could have woke up for 3 weeks straight and was going to the gym, waking up every single morning, drinking your smoothie, drinking your tea, going to the gym, doing your workout, going for a run, going for a walk, and building from there. And you could have did that for 3 straight weeks. And then something can happen within the 21st day. That's the last day of the program. In the 21st day, or next the 19th day, and it can reset the whole damn program. It reset the whole damn. You like, fuck. I was so ahead. I was good. My money was starting to look good. I was starting to look good. You can't get mad at the work that you haven't done yet. You cannot be upset at the work you haven't done yet. You went 21 days to the, you went 22 days, you went 19 days to the gym. You went 19 days to the gym. And on the 19th day, your workout partner called out. Your workout partner couldn't go. So you didn't go to the gym. You went 19 days waking up, saying doing your affirmations and meditating. And on the 19th day, the electricity went out in the house. So now you didn't have your music and it was dark and all this. You give yourself all of these excuses. You could have went 19 days and okay, cool, I'm on my fast, and somebody could have called you with some bad fucking news. And then you went back to emotionally binge eating. And now your 19 days of your fast are over with. Now you're in a state of rerouting. But now you keep going back like, damn, I ain't got no one to go work out with me. I can't go in there by myself. But in that same space while you sitting in that moment of rerouting, that's your fucking upgrade. You've made it to that point with what you needed to that point. So in the human aspect, when somebody called, man, I can't go to the gym today. Girl, I can't go to the gym today. My man, da 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 da. Now you got to look back from that point. That's always been the narrative. When we go into the aspects of thinking from the LLC, when I talk about this LLC mentality, and you're thinking about, you go from paycheck to paycheck, month to month, week to week, day to day, hour to hour, and you're able to go 3 months ahead, you remove the outcome of what it's supposed to be. That means you can set your plan. You set your plan 3 months out. That means when I start something, I have a process. And in this process, I'm going to build. That means the first 19 days when I was going through my workouts, I was feeling good. I was feeling good. I was feeling great. Hell, half of the times I was outrunning people on my route, on the route we were running. So now I'm sitting inside that space. It's like, instead of my mind going automatically triggered to the negative, damn, I can't go, I need to ask myself the real question to myself, to be honest. I got to ask myself a question of honesty. Why can't I go to the gym? Why can't I go on my run? I can say anything to keep me comfortable. Yeah, it's dark outside. My comfort, man, I had somebody running with me. I had someone to talk to. All you're telling yourself is that you're afraid to have a conversation with yourself while you're running. Going into the aspects of that meditation. You went 19 days with a meditation. And in the 19th day, now the shit stopped. The power went out, or Wi-Fi was gone or whatever. Now you couldn't use meditation music. So you couldn't sit in the dark space because you're closing your eyes anyway. Why are you afraid to sit with yourself in the dark with nothing going on? See, you got that feel good. You were feeling good. But as I always say, you're deserving, but you're not entitled. This is the aspects of, you're deserving, but you're not entitled. You're deserving of everything that you desire. You're deserving of everything that is going to bring the honesty of your truth to you. But you got to stop looking at the factors of truth. That fact of truth. Yes, it can be a stated fact that you can sit there and say in that same sentence, damn, my workout partner cannot come with me to the gym. That's a fact. They stayed out late, whatever reason that they stayed out last night or whatever is their truth, that's their truth. Cool. But honesty is based on you, that's the absolute. Honesty is going to force you to sit there and really look at how many times this is, remember, because the emotion isn't coming from the present, it's coming from that unresolved shit. So now you sitting in that space and you like, how many times have I quit something because of something? How many times have I used external excuses for me not to do something? How many times have I used the external excuses, use the external aspect or the real, the REEL, the projection to keep me within comfort? I'm changing, you going for that workout is not to change the external standard. It's to assess your ideal standards, your ideal structuring, your ideal stability. Therefore, once you change that internal ideal network, you start seeing that the projections fall away first. They have to fall away. The way that you used to see things and how you used to require things has to change automatically because you're changing the internal aspect. The way that you used to cope and the way that you used to deal with things has to change as you start assessing the internal. Because you can sit there and we talked about that last week, your integrity in that space. You can have integrity, but it's based in that lower aspect of yourself where you're over promising. You're deceiving yourself and saying, I'm a helpful person even when I'm struggling. Because you got to go back to the original aspect of where did you learn that from? You saw your grandmother struggle every single fucking day to make sure that you had some food. You saw your dad struggle every single day, your mom struggle every single day. Even if your mother was doing some outlandish shit. Even if your mother figure, your father figure was doing some outlandish shit to get what they were getting for you. That was an aptitude of struggle. They rationalized it as love, then you rationalized it as love. They rationalized this aspect of needing all of these things or needing all of those men or needing all of those people around them as an aspect of family. So that's what you were taught was the aspect of family. When they all were really just, as I say this all the time, they were all just related to you based upon the trauma. They all associated to you based on how you dealt with the trauma. That's all that they were. When you're now changing your ideal or your core values and you're evolving these aspects of yourself, and now you're creating a real standard, because in the physical you create that structure and that foundation. It's only a reflection of your internal foundation. If your internal ideal values are fractured, that means you ain't doing, if your internal ideals are fractured as a motherfucker, then guess what you gonna do naturally inside of your space? You're gonna depend so heavy on a projection. I used to depend so heavy upon projections of, yeah, I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm in the, but one thing that I've learned, and it's a continuous learning process for me, is as I'm building a company, building a platform, building a brand, in that aspect, building that, every time that it's time for me to level up, my discipline is the most important. Because my discipline is what got me to that point. My discipline is what got me to that point. My discipline is what helped me create the God Hour podcast. My discipline is what helped me create the Godico alchemist. My discipline is what helps me create and learn those aspects. So if I go forward, I can't be, this is when you think about codependency issues, I can't be codependent upon me doing that. It wasn't, it isn't about Godico, it isn't about the company, it was about where I started the company from. So the thing that I was having an issue with was, now that I created this real aspect, or this reel that I was playing in, the aspect of how I created it based on old ideals of myself was how I had to look at that. So when I reassessed it, when the reroute came, all right, cool, step back, relax, step back, do this. Everything that's came in line, everything that's happened has needed to happen. Everything that I had it to happen. Me going back into that state so I can come back into my fast. Me taking my 21 days to fasting, detoxing. Learning how to use that energy, learning how to use that energy in the newer aspects, because I already went through the first level of fasting where I couldn't move. Hell, yesterday was day 9. I was in the middle of my fast, and I was outside, I was doing yard work, and my ass got lightheaded as fuck, and I sat down for a little bit. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't, your energy, you're reassessing your energy inside of that space. You can't jump the way you used to jump. Now my mindset could have went into your age and all. No, I have not eaten or fed the old energy that made me go into that thought. It's a whole new thought process. It's a whole new program that I've programmed into myself. It's a whole new thought, whole new progress, whole new thought process that I've reprogrammed into myself. So living inside of that new program is based on me now. My old programs, based on traumatic experiences, my old programs always needed something outside of me to validate it. My old programs always needed me something to validate my old programming. How I got to that space, what I was doing there, how long I stayed inside of that position, all of that shit kept coming up until I faced it. Everything that I said I was doing it for, have to face it in order for me to accept the upgrade. In order for me to accept the upgrade and actually grow. Where my discipline truly was at. Am I really about, okay, me waking up, me doing a meditation, me writing out my day, how detailed am I in writing out my day based on the things that I can control, based on the things that based on what I do know, to step into that unknown aspect of myself, because that's ultimately what I was doing when you remove the outcome. When you're removing the outcome and you're coming into this aspects with your discipline, when you're removing the outcome, that's how you step into the unknown. When you're reassessing your program, that outcome gotta go away. That means when you sitting there meditating, when I was sitting there meditating, the outcome in my mind, that childish aspect in my head, I had to remove the outcome of I'm gonna float in the physical aspect in order for me to realize that, let me access this in my mind first, my new vision. Let me access this new vision plan in my mind. Have I created that vision board for that? Have I created the structure for it? Am I 3 months ahead? If I can go 3 months ahead, how long will it, what's the process of me going 3 months ahead? That means I gotta take away the mindset of being broke. I gotta take away the access of how I spend money, why I spend money, where I spend money at, to even get to the root of the issue. Instead of me looking like for an external aspect to bring something into me, because I had that fear of being intimate. And I always go into the aspects of being intimate with myself. So I had a problem with being intimate with myself. I had the issue of being intimate with myself. I had the issue of knowing exactly when to move and how to move. I had an issue with it. I was like, man, I don't want to, but if I do this new shit, and what if it doesn't work? I had to deprogram myself from thinking in that way, because that's what was stopping me. My automatic thought of going to, what if it doesn't work? That was an outcome that I got comfortable with. I got comfortable with the outcome of, what if it doesn't work? What if this shit don't work for me? What if this isn't for me? So automatically, you got to think about it like this. You set the tone for the thoughts, and you honor every one of your thoughts every single day. You set the tone to how you're honoring your thoughts. You set the tone to honoring your thoughts. Remember, every thought that you have must be honored in some way, shape, or form. Every thought that you have will be honored in some way, shape, or form. It will come into your space to honor that very thought. So my very first thought is like, what if this is not for me? And what I'm used to getting inside of my space is my relationships don't work out, my job don't work out, the money that I was trying to save don't work out. Guess what's going to come into my space? The shit that's going to make sure that my money doesn't work out, my job doesn't work out, my relationship don't work out, my shit don't work out. That's what's going to come into my space to test me at that point, to test that thought, to take me through the process. But there's a key to it. That's the process. You got to remove the outcome. Because if I'm stuck on old outcome, guess what I'm going to be using? The old effects. I'm going to be using the same old shit every single time. That's the key to transmuting the thought. The key to transmuting that thought is one of the simplest ways to transmute and change the thought. If I say to myself something as simple as, me saving money doesn't work. Me saving money doesn't work. I have to first assess that thought to why I think money doesn't work. Why me saving money doesn't work. I have to transmute that thought. Then I also have to look at my physical shit of what I do, or every time that I say this, like use the example. If I say saving money doesn't work, let's use that example. If I say saving money doesn't work, and every time that I'm saying this is usually when I'm waking up in the morning. I wake up first thing in the morning and I say money doesn't work, and then I go through, because this is where you're catching yourself. You go through the whole process saying money doesn't work, and then you find yourself in the gas station. You find yourself at the gas station putting $10, $20 in the tank. You find yourself at the fast food joint getting breakfast. You find yourself at the smoke shop or whatever, wherever you go get your stuff. You find yourself in those spaces. Guess what you just did? You literally walked through everything that you do that makes it impossible for you to save money. You literally just walked through everything that you do that makes it impossible for you to save money. Because now you're looking at your gas tank you start with the gas tank. You put $10 in your gas tank, $10 to $20 in your gas tank to get it to at least half. And you already know your route to work. You know your route to the job. You know your route to wherever you need to go. You know your route. You know your damn route. So you know that let's say 5 days go by, you know if you filled up your tank on Monday with half a tank, You know by Wednesday you're going to fill your tank up again with half a tank. Let's transmute that. If I know my tank takes $40, why wouldn't I fill my tank with $40? I had it that day. Because now I got to look at, damn, if I put $40 in my tank and fill my tank up, I don't have the $20 for my, I don't have the money for my Newport, for my smokes. I don't have the money for my food. So now I got to look at that aspect. Okay, cool. I put $40 in my tank. Now I only got $10. I only got $10 now instead of the $30 that I usually have. All right, cool. Now I go to next. Now I'm in that same space. Now all I got is $10. I'm hungry. I can go to the store. I can go to the grocery store and take that $10. Take that $10 and I can go get, even if it's the little $6 box of biscuits, or some biscuits and some fucking eggs for 10. I can get some shit for $10. It may not be the best at that point in time, but it's going to be necessary. Now, when I get to the house and I'm thinking I went to work, did my shit, went back to the house. Now, in order for me to cook this food, I got to wake up earlier. I can't wake up in the rush that I usually wake up. Everything got to be assessed that led up to that point. Something got to be given up. Everything got to be assessed to get to that point. So now I woke up. Now I got $40, and now the new program in my mind, I got $40 in the tank. I just made, but out of nowhere, I'm thinking that I just made 10. Now I made another $20. I didn't make $20. That shit was already present. I made $20 on that Monday night, doing what I was doing. I made $20 and I didn't spend it. Because in my mind I said I gotta wake up early in the morning. We do this shit constantly all the time. So now I'm sitting in that new space. Okay, cool, I got that going on. Now I ain't gotta worry about that. Now Wednesday comes, the money I usually drop in the tank, I ain't gotta drop in the tank. So now I can save that $20. So now Friday comes and payday comes. Now my tank is at half because I know my route. My tank is at half. Let me drop 20 in the tank. Now the 20 that I used to drop in the tank on that Friday, now I can drop into my savings. So now in that 1 week, I just saved $40. So now I know I can save $40. But let me write this down. This is how this is how you're reprogramming and learn how to transmute that energy. Now I write that down. Now I got this, even if it's a piece of notebook paper or an envelope, and you hang that bitch up where you can reach it. Now I got that hanging up on my Now I got that hanging up. Now I got this. Now this is accessible for me to hang it up. Now I got that written out. I know exactly how much now I'm looking at. Now that I've understood this aspect, now I got to keep working on it. This is the research. Let me look at how much money I spend a day and what I spend it on. Damn, I didn't realize I spent that much money on food. Damn, I didn't realize I spent that much money on weed. Damn, I didn't realize I spent that much money on video games and service and external shit to make me feel good about myself. Damn, I didn't know I spent that much money. That's the discomfort. That's the honesty. Now let me pull away from these aspects. Trying to hold on to everything, you're going to lose it all. Trying to hold on to the way you used to get attention, you're going to lose shit. You talking about, ooh, I want a relationship like this, and this. But you ain't defined that relationship with yourself yet. I want a job that pays me this, and this, but what kind of work are you doing with yourself? What kind of work are you doing with yourself in that process? I'm at a process right now in my space where I'm able to, my mindset was like to create content, have room for services, scheduling, but all of that took me first learning everything from baking the aspects of my past shit. From me learning how to do schedules at my jobs, me learning how to do orders at my jobs, take track of inventory, profit and loss, promotion, all of that shit was necessary. Even how I got to it was necessary. Because a lot of the shit that I was doing, the reason I couldn't access it and use it, that information, was because I was using it the same exact way. So the same way I made money back then was the same way I thought I had to make money now. The same way I was making money back then was the same way I think I need to make money now. I was trying to make it under the same guise. Promote, but I'm now understanding something as simple as in a marketing plan. When you're sitting in that marketing plan, the reason that marketing is so successful is because it's to bring in traffic, but you got to put yourself into a position of, even when you're marketing, it brings in traffic. That's 1 month. Let's put it, greetings. That's 1 month. That's 1 month of your 3 months. Turning my traffic into a revenue, into that revenue stream. That's the 2nd month. And then being able to market and teach that aspect, that's my 3rd stream. That's easy 3 streams right there. So once you learn your process and you've been through that process, that 21 days of you working out, this is why unconsciously, when you've been working out for about 21 days, for a month, now you want to go tell everybody how to work out. That ain't what it's there for. That's the moment of your marketing. How are you marketing your workout? How are you making, just like you had to go, because you got to think about it like this. Any process in the beginning, you're removing yourself from the unnatural aspect. You ain't never worked out a day in your life. That shit was unnatural to you. You ain't never seen nobody around you work out. And when they were working out, it was for a certain reason. You're removing all of that aspect. This is why I work out. I explain my workouts. My workouts is straight gym alchemy. I call it, that's my gym alchemy. So when I work out, everything from my affirmations that I'm speaking, the things that I'm saying, the music that I'm listening, everything has a purpose inside of that space for me that I have control over. That I'm protected inside of that space. Once I mastered that aspect, once I mastered it, now I can repackage it and market it as that's the established example. My ideal reasoning for working out has become my real life, as my real standard, the real standards or values that I'm using to work out. Therefore, I can promote from there. Now I can promote from a workout. So now for me, in my personal shit, doing aspects of business, if you follow me on TikTok, all the links is in there. You go back to TikTok, on my TikTok, a few videos down, when I was going on my runs in the morning, that was a part of my gym alchemy. That was my marketing. It led to the stream of something new. As you're redirecting yourself, you're bringing in streams of something new. Something that's going to force you to keep going forward. Something that's going to force you to keep going forward. So that became my 2nd stream. The 3rd stream is whatever, my 3rd stream of my energy coming into that space was being able to teach that. To be able to actually speak from a place of, I've done it, I'm doing it, this is based on intention, based on my dedication to myself, based on me being honest with myself. This is how I got these results. How you gonna get the results is based on your it's based on the intangible. It's based on the intangible. See, when you're doing this reroute and you're upgrading, you're not upgrading what is tangible. I can't go tell somebody, hey, if you go buy this tea and go buy this, and this, and you go buy this oil, this herb, this, and this, it's gonna work. I know it's not gonna work Because if their ideals aren't set to the intention to reprogram it, the first thing that's going to come, they're not going to be ready for what comes up first. If I say, hey, if I tell somebody, hey, yo, all you gotta do is do this affirmation for this many days, and this should happen in this many days, and all they're gonna be thinking about is my progress, where I'm at, where they're seeing me at. That's when you have to become in that dissatisfaction, and this is when you become honest, and when you're speaking and being able to say to somebody, be like, the thing that I tell everybody when you go through services with me, any service with me, especially going through therapy with me, everything that's going to come up on the surface is necessary. Yep. Everything that's going to come up is going to be necessary. Everything. That means if you start sitting here, you're going with me, you're going to therapy with me, you're going through my therapy services with me, I will guarantee you that you're going to be sitting there, and after 3-4 days, you're going to have, all of a sudden, you're going to feel like you're real sensitive, or you crying a lot, or you're detoxing, and you're like, I don't like the way this feeling feels. That's what I can guarantee you. Because my values are in, I'll let you know, peace. My values are in, this healing is destructive. You're deserving, but you're not entitled. This level of honesty is going to take you deeper into the darkness and understanding yourself. Those are my ideal, those are my real life values, because those are based on my core ideal values. You only can give based on what you are. You cannot give based on where you want to be, how you want to be seen. You only can give based on where you are. And that shit's intangible. That's the shit you can't buy. That's the shit you can't buy. That's the shit you can't purchase. You can't purchase it. Because all it is going to do is magnify what's already there. I can tell you easily, hey, all you gotta do is get a weight vest, go get a sauna suit, go to the gym. But if you got insecurities present, and you start working out with that vest on, and you start getting good with it, all you're gonna do is maximize the arrogance of your insecurity. I ain't fat no more. If you come and you get a reading from me, and I break that shit all the way down, and I give you the next, here's some recommended next steps that you should take, and you don't take those steps, all you listening, because what are you listening for? A certain outcome. What are you listening for? A certain result. You trying to get there before you can even get there. But that's why that discipline is so important. That's why the discipline is so important. That's why you stepping inside of that space, being honest with yourself is so important. That's why you allowing that shit to start shedding when you start shedding these identities that you created. All of these aspects that you created for yourself. When that shit starts shedding away, and that's why the first fast that you ever gonna do, you gonna look sick as fuck. That's why when you start drawing up your locks and shit, this shit look ugly as fuck. That's why when you start going to school, or you start going to class, your life is erratic as fuck. Because you have now stepped into your chaos. You have now stepped into your potential energy. That potential is the chaos. Above that is the order. Until you understand you can sit within the chaos of the emotions that you've been living in, you can't step into the new orders. You can't step into the new orders. Therefore, you can't step into the ideal values of yourself. You won't do the assessment. You can't change your standard, and you can't change your shit. You can't keep going through your life saying that I've seen this, and this all my life, and I know what the results of that is, so I don't want to do this, or that, because that's going to happen again. Got to change that thought. You got to reprogram that thought. And everything that you put in line to keep that thought living. But I desire you to be the fucking best. It was time to get back to our 10 o'clocks. You know, we're usually doing this at 10 o'clock. It's time to get back in our 10 o'clocks. You got to ask yourself a question. That's the card of the day, absence. I'm going to write it up on there. I'm going to write it up in full, but I want to give y'all a little message on it. The card of the day is absence. In your life, right now, in the current space where you at, where have you been absent with yourself? Sit down with yourself, take about 5-10 minutes. It don't take that long. Take 5 to 10 minutes. If you can't take 5 to 10 minutes, you know how I am. You can't take 5 to 10, take 10 to 20. Or take 10 to 15. You can't take 10 to 15, take 15 to 25. You can't take those, take 45 minutes to sit down with yourself. First thing you need to ask yourself is why you can't sit down for 45 minutes. I desire you to be the fucking best. I desire you to be the fucking best. Because that's why I desire of myself. This discipline is important. Remember, this healing is destructive. You are deserving, but you are not entitled. And the level of honesty is going to take you to get to that next level is you got to walk through your aspects. You got to sit in that dark space with yourself for that absolute uncomfortable to get into what you desire. Follow me on, you see the links, follow me on TikTok. We're going to start doing more lives on TikTok. Follow me on God Alchemist, my YouTube channel. We're going to start sliding over there, do some more Friday Night Lexus is coming back into play. And anything from services, from setting up a consultation, any of my other services. If you feel like you need 30 minutes to have a conversation, to bring some shit to the surface, you didn't need to vent, hit me up in the inbox. We can set an appointment up today. I love you. I want you to be the fucking best. It's time for you to wake up and be the fucking best. I love you. We love us. Ashe.